I want to ask, just how have you seen the team respond in these last 4 games, and just respond to what you're putting out there as the coach so far?
I mean, when you don't, I mean, uh, we are working in a business where it's about winning, and when you, and I mentioned it before, like, are you fixed with the result, or are you aware of the result? I have my mentor and my old coach for many years. He was always talking about that, and I remember when I was a player, when you had some times when you didn't get the result, you felt like sounds wise, because you get also, like I mentioned. I mean, everybody wants to win. My son, 5 years old soon, he's like, he doesn't want to play football anymore because he had to understand that sometimes you can lose. So and that's not a good state of mind to be in. But that's what we have in us. So then, me as a coach, I try to create a culture where it's about doing the right things. We also, I think, also in this society, it's not about if you call now. I don't if I find the right words in English, but in Sweden we talk about like the self-confidence, but that's not the same as the self-awareness. So we try to differ those two, but in many situations in Sweden we have Zlatan Ibrahimovic, enormous player, but he has a big self-confidence, but maybe not the biggest, self-awareness. Or so you don't want to connect just your confidence to outcome that you can't really fully affect, and that's the result in a game. It's some kind of randomness in it. We have had out of all 4 games, it could have gone in any direction, and we could have. And it's been also so. I will come to the answer. I have your question in my head here somewhere, but I mean, that's what always will be the thing that affects the players and me and the society. You win, you lose, and when you win, then you maybe have problems to address the team about things you need to address because they're so high on the win. When you lose, it can be the opposite, and they are so disappointed, and especially then when we had 3 very emotional endings of the games here. So Portland lost in 87th minute, Kansas, missed the penalty, and then Saturday. I mean, that is tough, and then it's difficult maybe in the moment to understand that, okay, we actually I see the things we are doing better. You sound like a fool in some ways. That, okay, I try to find I have another word, but it's in Swedish, so I have to start to translate before I come here. But like you're like a fool that tries to defend something that. But I see a lot of good things in the way we play. We played with back four. We defended well for 94 minutes, but not for 95. With that said, we need to address the things that we need to do better, and we are also where we try to build something that will last, and we know that will need us to do something changes that maybe are not working perfectly right now, but will give us something later. And I saw a step in the right direction, and that's important to get the players to understand, because they are so they feel that they let people down, and they feel bad because we connect those outcome things to how we feel too much.
You mentioned there are things you feel like you see that are going a step in the right direction, and especially for the future. What are those things that you've taken away from the last game that was a step in the right direction?
Also, I always try to be as open as I can. I don't think that we are we don't see enough changes or improvements in the problems that were here last year, and I mean, the counterattacks. I think we have started to control them better. That will. It also means that we put in a lot of effort and emphasis on that. That takes away maybe some attacking force. You know, we had those counterattacks against in the first 3 games. That was much better against Nashville. Nashville, another kind of team. Now Toronto will be a counterattack team in a bigger, in more counter-attack situations. But I think we have emphasis on that. Then we took away maybe some attacking power because the players really tried to take away the counterattacks, and that's this. You have heard other coaches talk about the blanket you have when you try to, and then you freeze here, and then you pull it up here, and then you start to freeze your toes, and then you took it down, and then So then, and that's where we are a little bit. But I also think that we haven't changed enough some behaviors, how we defend our own box. It's still. We are not good enough. How to say good enough when it's come to the emergency defending in the penalty box, where it's about being a big chance. We compare with Nashville. I think they are. I like them a lot. They defensively they were amazing. We didn't have a shot in their penalty box. More, I would say they were very good, like pushing us out. That's the good thing. We did a lot of good things up to that, but then we didn't break them down the last part because they were good in like pushing us out. If we compare with what we did when they scored the goal, we opened up our penalty box. Those behaviors you saw a lot from last year, especially. We're still there. We are not good enough in our own counterattacks. We had 15 ball victories on their half, Nashville. We didn't create any situation from that. Of course, that's not also good enough, and that's a thing I have talked about since you heard me the first time. Threaten more. So we have some old habits that still haunt us. But then I see also, if we talk about the high press now against Nashville, they have. I try to pronounce Nashville. But then I have to put it like to Nashville. If I put it Nashville, then it's. I also have some improvements to do. So, but I think we pressed better in the high press. We were compact. I think we, as a back four, we were really good. I think we were better we had a better rhythm, and that also a lot due to Gomez. He's smart. He feels the game, so we could control the game in some parts. So that was the good things, I must say.
It feels like throughout the 4 games you kept to relatively the same rotation for defenders. You had to move Zawadzki up. You moved Zawadzki up, obviously against Nashville. But do you feel like you guys could use a little more depth at the center back position?
It is a position we look at. I mean, also it's a little bit the same. When we look at the opponent we play against, and then Mark, one of our analysts, he showed last time we played them we had the starting 11, and often it's the exact starting 11 like last year, and that's a strength, but it's also a little bit a weakness. I would say that I think the club and maybe you also and supporters identified that like we need to do some changes, we need to add something, and so far we haven't really been able to do it for different reasons. Now Rudy's back, so that's I mean that's good, and to have the same starting 11 is also a strength. But I have mentioned new blood. That's to put in an injection in the squad. That's what we need, and that's what we're looking for. But it's more important that we get the right person, the right player, than just, you know, stress something. So that's why I'm quite calm. I mean, we are. Robin and we talked, and I said I should not use the word rebuild, so I don't use it. You didn't hear me say rebuild, but it's a little bit like creating something new, but we still have the same stones, and that's good. But we need, like, looking for, if we know what kind of team we have been. It's a team that has the ball a lot, but also maybe some weaknesses when it comes to the desire to defend the goal, to desire to get dirty in the game, and so on. So that's the attribute we look for example.
But do you feel like you guys need a little more new blood just at the defensive position, or you're looking all across the field?
Yeah, I think it's also for me now being here. I told the players that's been like. Don't tell my wife this, but been like 2 best months in my life almost. Will not land well when she because I've been here alone almost the whole time. But that's life. You have some parts where you really struggle. But I mean, what I really enjoy being here and work in this organization with these players. So it's been amazing, but it's also been a time for me to evaluate. Okay, which players are like up for it? Which players are still hungry? Which player can do the things we need to do? Because if we do the same like Columbus Crew did 23, we will not win anything. So I mean that's the state of football. It changes and. The way teams played in the league then, they don't play like that anymore, and we need to be ahead of that. So we need to strengthen the squad with players also. But it's no stress. It's about creating the right culture, and the players starts to know what I demand from them. And if they can't do it, yeah, then you need to find solutions. But so far, it's amazing people, so they will be able to do it.
You touched on a little bit of this, but there was a video that the club posted on social media where you talked about old demons, players not taking ownership, that it's easier to hide when you're winning, and you need players who want to participate when it's tough and compete. I think you touched on a lot of that in your previous answers, but are you seeing what you need to see from enough guys right now, kind of taking all that into account?
Yeah, and it sounds like I'm blaming. You could like, and that's not the case. So that's why I'm glad you ask about it, because it's a thin line. Me blaming, or me also making players aware of that this is what you need to do, but I think that's the case. I'm a privilege right now. I'm coming from outside, but I'm on the inside. You have watched it. You have watched it more than me through the years, but you are still on the outside. So I'm like, in 1 year's if you go 1 year ahead, then I will be almost only inside. So I mean, I can still detach a little bit from the things that happen, and that can be good, because I can also see some things and tell them some things that maybe hurt them, but it's also what they need to hear. And when everything goes well, 23, some parts of 24, it's amazing, and everybody wants to be part of it. And then when like last year, and especially the last part, I mean, it's just to look how I say we conceded goal last year. It's a lot of situations that like exactly the same. That's the old demons. Even in the game, okay, now we have something to lose. Then you start to, you could say that, okay, it's strange that we conceded those goals we have conceded, because you should defend like maniacs. But then you start to, the brain starts to come up with crazy thoughts, and then you act in a way you don't want to act. So those things are where the reality where we are, and then it's for the players to face that and not hide from it, and or don't say that, okay, but it's quite good, or we should have won. Yeah, we maybe we should have won 3 out of 4 games we have played, but we didn't. So that's when you need ownership. That here is where we are. We are not better than we are right now, but we will if we face that and take ownership. And to answer your question, yeah, we have. I've said it so many times. We have amazing persons, but I need to tell them the reality also. I'm not here. I'm here to compete. I know that will take time. We want to compete every week, of course, but to be on the level that we can say that, okay, now it starts to look a little bit like in the best years and seasons. We are not there by far right now, but it can go quick also. But then we need to do this. Then we need to look ourselves in the mirror, and then we need to, okay, me as a person, the players, and I think I know we're gonna do it.
How, during a time like this where there is transition and you're not getting those results you're talking about, how do you keep guys' individual confidence high?
And that's a bigger challenge these days than when I was a player, because there's so much things going around, and as I said, we connect a lot of things from like outside to how we feel, and then you get addicted to have that from the outside, and result is a bit from the outside. You should get confidence from the preparation and the things you do. So that's what we try to do. But I am a big fan of awareness. So I told them about the competence ladder. You're first like unaware of your incompetence. It's the tough part, and then you're aware. Then you get aware of your incompetence, and then you get a little bit more aware of your competence, and then you want to be where you are. do I say it right? Then you are unaware of your competence. So, but you need to go through those steps, and but it will also require that you are a little bit knocked down, and then we build them up again. But it's a lot of conversations with them to find this balance between tough love and beautiful love, and that's the leadership. It's not only me; it's the whole organization.
And you talked about clearing up some of the transition issues defensively. Obviously, you guys have been better at that, and that has affected getting forward and in the boxes and things. And I think you're right with Nashville, but how do you find that balance? That seems to be that's the tricky part.
That is the thing, and I always. It's the same with what I said. We want to threaten more. Yeah, then we maybe play forward too often. Yeah. But to get where we have a good balance, then you need to do a little bit more of it. And it's the same now. Now we maybe work really hard. We have outrun our opponent in every game, so the effort is there. But maybe we did it even too much, and then when we stop the counter, instead of taking an advantage, now we counter on them. Then we were satisfied with that. So then we put another layer to it, like we had now in the meeting before here. Okay, what do we do when we win the ball then? And they know it. It's not that I invent football, and they have played it so many times. But it's also what you focus on in the moment, that you give the attention to that, and that takes away a little bit of the other things. In 2 months' time, we have connected all those areas, and then it will look much more fluid. It's also where now Gomez played his first game. You could already see things, and he would be important in that part. But still, it's a little bit. Where is he? Is Diego there? Wes. So I would say we are quite far away from playing the way Columbus Crew is capable of doing. My teams usually, play in the way they play, but I have never had a team where we play in the way I want them to play after 6-7 weeks. So I would love to have that, but then I think the only way to do that is play very simple. then you have to. Every time we win the ball, down the channel. Every time we lose the ball, home with the team. Then you will see a clear identity, but that's not the football we want to play.
Coach, without going through all of the stats, from an attacking standpoint, the numbers seem to indicate that Columbus, while not converting a lot of shots, is choosing shots very well. That shots on target rank very high in the league. So while they are minimal, they are the right moments.
Yeah.
In the attacking third, what more are you looking for then?
I mean, that is usually stats that indicate that you are a good team when you do that. But we want also the volume to be higher. But if I just take the last game, we, like I said, 15 times we won the ball on their half. We didn't get one big chance from that. We had a goal that were. It was not a goal, but you know, when Taha scored, he didn't score, but yeah, you understand.
Mm-hmm.
That was a counter-attack or a quick attack, so we took the opportunity. But otherwise, it's to we have the quality, so it's not that. I think it's more the randomness right now that makes Wes not score or Diego not score or. Max had a big chance against Chicago, he didn't score. So that is something that will, over time, if you keep just pushing, then that will sort out by itself. Then I want the volume to be higher also, and then we need to be better in the transition moment when we win the ball. So, like I said before, then we will get a couple of more situations every game. Then we also work with, because that was last year or the years before, they have played around a lot when they have the opponent deep. Now we have started to, can we put the ball into the box? And I think it was after Chicago I said to you that then we put the ball in every situation. You see the pattern here. We ask for something. You in the best of the world, you take the right decision directly. But I think we all know that that's very difficult. You do something new, yeah, then you do it maybe in the wrong situation, but you do it, but you shouldn't do it then. So then we had the volume with the crosses, but not on the finishes. So we will try to, we will keep working on that, and then there will be a couple more situations where West will get even better chances towards the goal.
Thank you.
What have you learned about Gomez over the last 10 days or however long?
He is in love with football. I think we coaches always look a lot, you know, different games, but he can talk football for hours, so it's a good match, and he is very humble, but you also saw that he directly talked with play. He talked with everyone. So it's not that he only talked with me or Wes. It's if it's Owen or if it's Brown, you know. And he also listened to the perspective. He's never like, yeah. It's not like he tells me, yeah, when Ancelotti said this, and then you should do this, coach, or Luis Enrique did this, so he's very humble, but he gives us a lot of experience and different solutions, so we can. And he also the one I can talk with him. We want to press like this, and then he can be the one that also helps out on the pitch.
When did you know you were going to start him last week?
The day before. When he could train quite well, then we said for first 45 minutes. Sometimes when you talk with don't tell the performance department. There's 30 minutes. When they say that, then you know you can push them to 45. And when you come to halftime, 45, then you can push them 15 more minutes. Like you ask them in halftime, like, you okay? We do 50 more minutes. Okay, so then it's 60. So when they say 30, it's 60. But don't tell Chris.
No one's gonna know.
Good.
Did he get, would you want him further up the field eventually, or, because seemed pretty deep for most of the game?
Yeah, I would say that this is also where I really try to find out. I know where the players like to be, but it's also should Diego be wide, or should he be more in maybe half space? But then we didn't have one to the right. But how much does that cost Diego? And Gomez, can we use him higher up in this game, because he hasn't played that much? I was more keen on having him like in a position where he could also be smart, not running all over the place. But then he did. He was out pressing on the side, but he was not maybe in like an 8 or 10 position on the field. But it depends on which play he plays with also. If he plays with Dylan, then he's maybe a little bit more behind. Now we play with Sean, and I wanted 2-6 central midfield in this game, so that affects us also. It will probably. That's what we need to see, where can he contribute the most.
Diego had kind of a quiet game for him.
Yeah.
Was he too wide, or how would is that? Did you learn something about his positioning on Saturday?
Yeah, I think this is also in Sweden. If I talk with players, I can you start here, and then you can. Here they're more like, yeah, you said I would stay wide. Yeah, but then it's a decision in the game, and so they are so loyal, and I have to. That's amazing. But I'm used to players. They do a little bit, so they take your own decision. The culture here is a little bit more. But if you said I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. Well, yeah, that's good. But okay, can you? So that's also for me to know how much instruction I should give them. But we needed that in that game. But there will be games where I want him more in central. I want him to know that he can move a little bit free. And with Gomez, you can also he's good to like tell also Diego, now I need you here, stay there. But the attacking players, that's also one thing, and that will when we get the players to understand. So it's like this: the attacking player doesn't need to do so much. I think they think they need to do more than they need to do, if I put it like that. It's to be more disciplined in staying west, stay high, be ready in the box. But he's so ambitious and he wants to help the team, so he starts to drop. And then Diego starts to, and then the next player. So, and then we don't have players where we need to have them. So that is also something that you build with trust, and me being maybe, okay, now you are there, we create a kind of different structure. And that they understand that I don't help the team by overdo the things. I help the team by doing my thing 100%, and then the next player will do the same. And we will be there soon.
So they listen to you. They do exactly what you say. Can you say go score a goal?
I haven't. Maybe that's the thing, and that's. You have this backward law. So it's a coach in Sweden actually. He tells the player to not to score because he believes in the backward law. So
reverse psychology.
Yeah. So don't score, and then they will score. We have created and missed maybe, but that would come. But no, yeah. But I try that now.
Just go score.
Yeah.
Great.
Score. Don't complicate it.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.